Hey y'all, welcome back. Today I'm so excited. We are making a super simple but amped up version of the chicken and rice that I'm sure y'all have been meal prepping for these past 2 weeks. So one thing that I hear a lot too is like everyone's craving pasta because they're like, I can't have it anymore, which yes, you can, because life's about balance and there's healthier alternatives to that. But today we are focusing still on the realm of chicken and rice and maybe just kind of diversifying that a little bit, if you will. So giving that Italian kind of flavor with Italian herbs and some other spices. So we're not making just one meal, of course, we're making several. And I'm going to show you guys just a few different ways to kind of amp that up or diversify it a bit without spending hours in the kitchen, because not even myself enjoys doing that when you're just trying to prep food for the week. So let's just dive right into it. So we are doing a sun-dried tomato Italian seasoning chicken and rice. So first things first, of course, star of the show is the chicken. But instead of cooking it in the oven in olive oil, we're going to use the extra virgin olive oil in the sun-dried tomato jar. So you'll see that in a little bit. I'm just going to drizzle some of that over there, chop up some diced tomatoes to put on there with, of course, my fresh Italian herbs that I use all the time that I get from Kroger. And I also love my fresh garlic, fresh onion, all of that. But again, prepping a ton of meals, maybe on a Sunday, as I feel like most people do, when you're just like, oh, don't want to do all that, you know? So we're just going to keep it simple today. We're going to do some garlic powder and some onion powder. Now for the rice, totally use whatever you want. I like basmati. Basmati? Did I say that? Basmati rice. That's what I have here. It's just some white rice. You often see that and jasmine as kind of being like the healthiest go-to rices. But of course, use whatever you like. If you don't want to use rice at all, use cauliflower rice. But how I kind of amp up the flavor a little bit is bone broth. So, of course, it adds more flavor, but also just a little bit more nutrition. You can get this in the meat section of the grocery store, or like this jar here. I just got on the shelf, like where all the soups and the broths, all that is. Where all that is. English is hard, guys. But that is where I just got that. You don't have to do that. But again, it just kind of changes it up a little bit so you guys don't get completely burnt out on just boring chicken and rice. It's a very simple, easy little tweak, I guess, to enhance the flavor. So how we put this all together takes no time at all. We will actually just do that right now. Okay, so a pot of the bone broth is boiling in the back for the rice. I'm just going to cook it according to the package, but use water if you'd like. The oven is at 400. And for the chicken, I just took like a pallet of 5 chicken breasts. This actually, I just diced up, I think it was like 3 because they were huge. And this is going to make quite a bit, so looks gross. But I'm just going to throw that on there. Now, I'm sure if you guys have been kind of paying more attention to what you eat, probably don't use a ton of olive oil. It is one of those like unnecessary evils that people just kind of douse their food in oils, and it's just, of course, unnecessary. You don't need it. So instead of using it extra virgin olive oil just from the jar, I'm actually going to use it from the sun-dried tomato jar. I'm just going to drizzle a bit. I will do probably a tablespoon. You could totally use more, but you don't really need to. So this pan is plenty big, but it's all I have. So I either have it itty bitty or super big. So we're just going to toss that, wrong shirt for this. We're just going to toss that around in there. And then you guys might not like me for this, but I challenge you not to measure. So garlic powder, we're seriously just doing a light dusting like that. And I'm going to do actually the exact same with the onion powder. Just over the top there. Of course, you can use fresh onions and garlic if you want. I typically like to do that, but not always. And of course, this is so much easier, very much quicker. Does the same kind of deal. And I save some room over here because if you want halfway through baking, it's going to bake for about 20 to 25 minutes. I have some broccolini or broccoli, really any veggie if you want. Throw it on the other side of the pan if you want to do some veggies with the chicken and rice. But when it's all said and done, we package this up. I actually have some snack ideas for you guys. If you guys have like a pre-snack before lunch or vice versa, I have a few little concoctions for you there that are that was loud. A few little ideas for that as well. Now the fresh herbs, if you're using dried seasonings that are in the pantry, you could add that now, but of course my fresh herbs are what I love. I'm gonna add that in very close to the end, just because I don't wanna burn them. But what we can do is, it's super oily, but the sun-dried tomatoes in the oil right here, just pull out a few of them. If you don't want the sun-dried tomatoes, you don't have to throw them on here, but I love sun-dried tomatoes. And since they are soaked in oil, they won't burn. Now, we're not being lazy, we're being resourceful. I am not gonna sit here and cut all these up. I don't do that when I have chicken for dinner. I honestly just cut it up with scissors. My neighbor one time looked at me and was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm cutting up my chicken," like literally with scissors. And they're like, "Okay." Game changer, so much easier. So I'm gonna cut these up right now, kind of just spread this over the top. Dump my rice in the boiling water back there, like I said. And while this is in the oven, then we can get our little lunch boxes or food prep trays assembled. But that's all there is to it. Like I said, herbs are gonna wait till the end. I'm gonna throw these on probably a third cup, fourth cup. I'd say a fourth cup of sun-dried tomatoes is about what I'm doing right now. So I'm gonna do that, pop that in the oven, and then we'll get some snacks going. Woo. All right, you guys, it's been about 10 minutes. This thing is sizzling. I'm gonna go ahead now, and like I said, this is optional, but I'm gonna throw on some broccolini. And it looks like the chicken's absorbed most of the olive oil juice from the tomatoes. So I'm just going to spray a little avocado oil here. You can just dump more oil on here if you want, but this just kind of saves you from using some unnecessary oil, I should say. I'll link this little spritzer if you want. I actually just put like avocado oil in here or olive oil, whatever you have. But tip, I actually put the expiration date of the bottle that I dump in here on the bottom, or else you don't know when this is going to expire. So I did that one time and it was a little old. So lesson learned. But threw that on there. I want to pop it back in the oven for about 10 more minutes. The rice is almost done. But while this is finishing up, we can get started on like some snacks for the food prep for the other part of the lunches. All of these are pretty balanced with like a fat and, well, healthy fat being the hummus, fat being the peanut butter, and of course we've got peanut butter in the protein bowls. Now then we've got our veggies, and then we've got bell pepper, carrots, celery, and fruit. Oranges right there. If you want to swap any of these out, do like green apple, and these are just some of my favorites. Is like apple and dates. That's like my new favorite thing because dates are like actually kind of caramely. So if you sandwich it between the two, super good as well. And oh my gosh, one of my other, you guys might think I'm crazy for this, but if you guys know how like I blend up cottage cheese and just make like a pureed cottage cheese that looks like sour cream. It sounds weird, but trust me. So I either put taco seasoning in there or like the Mrs. Dash table blend, or if you have like the Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning dip, you can make a super easy but healthy protein packed veggie dip, but with cottage cheese. And it has the same general taste as sour cream. If you dip cucumbers in there, again, bell peppers are like my favorites, my go-to. It's seriously, like you don't miss the sour cream. So again, there's all kinds of like little snacks that you can make actually taste good, but healthy as well. So I might actually, that might be an idea. I'm just saying, if you guys would be interested in just like a full, like a slew of healthy snacks or maybe like party appetizers and things, comment and I might do a video of that for like February or something. Super Bowl's coming up too, so Unfortunately, my Cowboys are not in it, but 2026, hopeful thinking, I guess. So we'll see. But anyways, endless options. The chicken is almost done, and then all we gotta do is shovel it into here, pop them in the fridge, and then you seriously have lunches taken care of for the whole week. Now, breakfast, that's typically another one, like on the go. Do Greek yogurt and berries. Throw some honey on there. My favorite, and actually a couple of my friends, they just made these. It was my egg white bites that people just loved, and they are so, so good. So simple. You can make them so many different ways too. I'll link that video as well if you guys want to go check out either that video, that recipe, make it your own. Highly recommend there, but pretty painless as it should be, but definitely different because we're gonna make this more of like an Italian chicken. So like I said, I'm gonna check on that and then see if it's about done, and we'll throw on our herbs, maybe some lemon juice because I always have fresh lemons in the house, and we'll be all set. You guys, this smells so good, and we don't even have the fresh herbs on there yet. So like I said, I would typically add these on or in, I guess, like the last 5 minutes of baking. This took, I think, a solid 25 minutes. You probably could get away with 20. Like I said, every oven kind of cooks different, but I like my chicken a little bit crispy. Now, the herbs, again, I challenge you guys not to measure. You really don't need to measure with this a whole lot other than be careful with the extra virgin olive oil. Just, there's no point to oversaturate your food in oils. Super unnecessary. So, herbs, you cannot have too many. I really don't think you can. I actually decided to put a little pinch of this, what is this? Italian herb blend. I put that in the rice as well, but I'm putting this now on the chicken. The reason why you don't want to bake it is because basil is in here, and basil is one of the more delicate herbs, kind of like cilantro. You don't want to burn it. That can easily burn in the oven. Now, like rosemary, thyme, I call them the Thanksgiving spices. Those don't burn easy, but not worth taking the risk. I don't want burnt leaf shrapnel, basically, on my chicken. So I'm going to just toss these and everything it's been cooking in, let it sit a second, and then we can just start assembling all of the things. It smells so good. I'm so excited. You guys, look at how much food we made, seriously, in less than an hour. That took truly no time at all. And I still have the sheet pan over there with the broccolini that didn't even fit in here. Still a little bit leftover rice. I ended up cooking a cup of rice, and I did a half cup per each of these tins. Now, that's just kind of based on like what I know works for me. You can do more or less. If you're going more for weight loss, maybe do cauliflower rice, do even sauteed spinach I've done before as a really good base, especially with this like Italian sun-dried tomato herb chicken. Oh my gosh, so good. And of course, we got to eat with our eyes first. So, like I said, I always have extra lemon in the house. Oh man, I got a seed in there. There we go. I always have extra lemons in the house. I just love lemon water. It's refreshing, and I cook just a lot with them. But that being said, totally unnecessary. You can do this if you want, but you don't have to. Just to make it look pretty, I want to do a little lemon slice or wedge. These dang sleeves, I'm telling you, they're getting in my way. But I want to do just a little slice on like every corner of the chicken. And two, the chicken, like I said, I have leftover over there. I did about 3 ounces per container, roughly. I have a food scale. I don't always use it. I don't expect everyone else to use it. I feel like that is turning food into science, and it's just not necessary. I feel like part of finding that balance and healthy eating is just listening to your body, understanding, kind of playing with it, what it needs more of, what it needs less of, you know. So one of those things, but it looks so pretty. I don't even think it needs any more herbs. The herbs in the rice, by the way, great call. But just like that, we have 5 meals plus. I might actually have the other one now. And then we have a ton of broccoli over there as well. I got it actually already pre-cut up in a bag. And I dumped it. I put it on a plate so it looked pretty for y'all. But then I just dumped it on a plate pan. My bad. dumped it on a pan and sprayed that avocado oil on it, baked it. And this all came together super quick. All these veggies, honestly, was just food I had left over in the fridge. I hadn't even planned on doing like a whole snacks segment, but it kind of goes without saying. So anyone can do this, and it's a nice little change up from the standard chicken and rice that everyone is very familiar with and probably very tired of right now. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Please let me know if you guys want that video of just like various snacks and appetizers that are kind of revamped, but they're like the old school classics but made healthy. I think that'd be a really great idea, because I feel like people are more apt to snack than they are make meals. As far as that's what gets them in trouble, is the unhealthy snacking, that then it comes to the meals and they kind of throw their health out the window. So I think that'd be a great idea. I might even do that without your guys' comments, but we shall see. I hope to see you guys next week. Enjoy.